We're so excited to have LexisNexis Risk Solutions as one of our marquee customers. They're a truly progressive organization, leaning in and measuring and prioritizing the selling behaviors that matter most. And more than anything, they understand that their most important assets are their people. It's their people that drive value for their customers and create that truly differentiated buying experience. All right, well, perhaps we can start, Dean. Can you just tell us a little bit about LexisNexis Risk Solutions?
Absolutely. So we're part of RELX Group, which I often say is often one of the biggest companies in the UK that people have never heard of. So we're in the top 10 in the FTSE, currently fifth. And LexisNexis Risk Solutions is one of 4 divisions, and within that we use data, technology and decision tools to drive better outcomes for our customers, whether that's operational efficiency, reduce risk, and just help them better solve their problems.
And what do you think sets LexisNexis apart from some of your competitors that you have in the marketplace?
We always say we don't really have any competitors. And the reason I say that is because I think the world's changing so much. We've really got to think about how do we help define the markets of the future and make our markets and our customers more effective. So it's not just traditional competitors, essentially, it's other ways of solving the same problem. And we're fortunate that the very thing that defines us, I think, and a lot of businesses is the quality of our team and the culture that we have.
I wonder whether you could share with us a little bit about what was going on in the marketplace and for you within your industry that was the catalyst for you thinking about development of your sellers and the capability building initiative that you put in place.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there was many things, honestly, John, where the first is us and where we're changing as a business. So part of the business I'm responsible for, data services, was a business called Read Business Information. So we were a set of over 200 magazines many years ago. And if you think about how you sell a magazine, you don't know what the customer values in the magazine. And every magazine's the same, they're commoditized, and it's a volume sales business. And over the last 15 years, that business has transitioned into 5 specific industry market segments as true digital business-to-business organisations. And that means our capability of how we engage with our customers, understand our customers, becomes really, really important. The other thing, I think, is also market conditions. Because what we see in the market conditions is people are so busy now, and there's so much high-quality information in the market, people take longer to make no decision. So for us, being able to truly differentiate ourselves in the market as we continue that digital transformation becomes really, really important for us as an organisation. I think the key thing is actually making the customer confident in themselves rather than confident in you almost, although of course that's important. So it's I think sales is changing more, and of course we've got all this different technology and ways of doing things. So being able to differentiate is more important than ever.
Yeah, it's critically important, isn't it? And you just used a really important word, confidence, because I know the Richardson organisation's partnered with you on what you've termed 3C selling and 3C coaching. I wonder whether you could explain to us the concept behind the 3Cs, and specifically what were you hoping to see differently from your customer-facing teams as part of the initiative?
It's a really good question, yeah. So 3Cs, we always say, is a mindset and not a methodology. And the reason for that is everybody's done lots and lots of different sales training, but how do you truly change behaviour where it matters? And that's about changing habit. It's about really getting people to do things in the place where it's hardest to do things in front of the customer. And so 3C stands for confidence, curiosity and courage. And it's all based around a mindset. So how can we be confident in why we're here, what we stand for, why the individual actually has the role in sales? They got hired because they were great at something. Other people wanted that job. To really create a foundation of confidence that allows you to then say, well, let's be really curious. How good can we be individually and collectively? How good and what difference can we make to our customers? And then, of course, the courage is what do we need to do to actually make the change where it matters most? And change of habit is the hardest thing, as we all know, in any type of training. So it's been great to partner with Richardson to do that.
And in this work together, we created for you this concept of a blended learning journey, a journey that starts with kind of asynchronous digital learning and then live facilitation, customized scenarios that create practice opportunities for your sellers, and then sustainment and support in the flow of work. How have the teams reacted to that kind of multi-touch approach to building capability over time?
It's not something I've done as extensively myself, if I'm really honest, in the past, and I think Richardson have helped us with that. But that multi-channel approach has really embedded behaviour faster and more consistently, and I think that's the most important thing of how that's worked. Ensuring that we have the technology and the tools and the processes to really promote that change is important. All of the sales managers and leaders had twice the hours of training as the individual sales reps, because clearly how you lead and the questions you need to ask have to be different if you expect an enhancement of behaviour. And we were already doing great, right? It wasn't that this was broken. We were trading brilliantly. It was like, how do we begin to get ready for the future? And then that blended learning approach just means that the reinforcement on a continual basis of the things that we feel are important has really been embedded. Technology and the sales enablement and performance teams, along with your Richardson team, have helped us also look at areas of strength and weakness. And so we're able to focus training in different areas to individuals, to teams, and the entire organisation. And you know, part of high performance isn't just worrying about what you're bad at, it's also dialing up what you're good at.
Absolutely.
And I think just seeing it and making that clear was important too.
Yeah, that's great. What's the feedback and reaction been from sellers and your frontline managers?
They've loved it. I mean, it can be a little bit overwhelming, you know, when change happens. And I have to say, the way it was done, and one of the benefits of working with the Richardson team has been the scale which we've been able to do it globally. So we've made it really relevant. We've delivered in Japanese and Mandarin and Dutch. So that helps the initial learning and the stigma with, oh my God, can I make this? What sort of change is needed of me? So I think that the early change, you know, was good, and then you can kind of lose momentum. But with the tools that we have and also that blended learning approach, we've managed to continue momentum, which is so important in selling, obviously. And the teams have loved it. I think individuals have really embraced it. They feel that they are now better and more valuable for themselves in the market and for us as an organisation. Our results with our customers have been excellent, both in terms of growth of new business, reduction in cancellation, revenue growth, but most importantly as well, customer satisfaction, because it's quite a tough environment out there at the moment. And as you know, customers will remember how you made them feel. Yeah. And so genuinely, it couldn't have gone better.
And that's the $64,000 question, isn't it? You've invested a tremendous amount of time, not just with us, but in the initiative overall, in the long-term capability building of your team. Do you feel like it's made an impact to the underlying performance of the business?
Oh, it definitely has. I mean, the results tell us that it's made a difference. I think that there's an element of bravery needed in those types of decisions. So you have to be all in at all levels to maximise any type of investment, and the conviction of it actually resulting in results and the development of the team. We're also quite brave in that one of the phrases we have in the business is performance is doing the things you need to do to get the results you want. So our view is if you just get the right inputs in terms of quality, then the results take care of themselves. And that also allows the individual sellers to focus truly on the performance elements to what they're doing, rather than how far am I away from my target and how much activity have I done. And that's worked really well. But all the statistics say it's been a resounding success. So
that's
thank
great.
you.
Yeah. And it allows sellers to have the confidence to focus on the things that are within their control, and ultimately they keep consistently executing, then the results will follow.
So important. I mean, I don't think anybody changes unless they have the confidence that they can make the change and they see themselves where you're pointing the level or the standards or the outcome should be. And so ensuring that people are supported on that journey to get there and that everyone feels that they can get there is really, really important. And that's been a good journey for us.
That's great. Is there any advice that you give somebody else sitting in your shoes thinking about that development journey, perhaps evaluating decisions around investing in training and development. Is there any advice that you would give them based on your experience working with us and the progress you've been able to accomplish over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, we're a fairly large organisation, and first of all, we can't do it on our own. And so thank you to you and your team for doing that. We haven't got the sales performance team in the languages we need at the scale we need to continually get this out there and reinforce. And that's been invaluable, building also on the sprint selling framework. But in the business itself, it's around the conviction in doing it and really setting expectations from the top all the way down. We have a saying, excellence isn't a choice. When we're investing in this, what it means it's an obligation in that investment on the individual to really take some of it on and change. And that sometimes isn't easy. And when people don't change, quite often that can be through good intent because they're worried and just,
of course.
Yeah. So creating an environment where that can happen only happens when everyone is totally behind it. And it's quite hard in these conditions to make those decisions, to say there's a lot of organisations thinking our revenues are not growing fast enough. What do we do? Do we change the chief revenue officer? The sales team aren't good enough. The managers aren't good enough, which is another good one. But most organisations have a lot of people that arrive every day with good intent. And it's like, how can we really invest in that passion and energy and momentum to really drive the sales organisation to be the best they can be and ultimately differentiate more where it matters most in front of the customer. So I would say go for it, but with total conviction.
That's great advice. Well, thank you very much, Dean. It's been an absolute privilege working with you and the rest of the team. We look forward to continuing the partnership, and we appreciate you taking some time out of a crazy busy schedule to speak with me today.
My absolute pleasure. Thanks, John. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.